All right, going live in three, two, one. Well, this is Layers of Beauty, episode number two. How are you doing this evening? We got a different setup at this evening. It looks like your connection is a little bit better than it was last time.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I changed it. I changed my router
Okay.
because it was just going on and off. So today I became a technical person. I went to Best Buy and just like made my settings. My mom in the background was like, "What are you doing going around the house?" I'm like, "I'm just checking the connection. I have an important show today. I need to make sure I stay on the live."
So you said you're going through a heat wave. Is that what you said before we went live?
Yeah. So if you guys see my hair is just like blowing, it's because I have a fan going on here and it's just really hot. And the thing about Vancouver, the condos and most of the houses, they don't have air conditioners. So you just need to settle for fan.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
that's why it's just like, yeah, because we're not prepared. We're like a rainy city. We're in Canada. We're not LA or anywhere that is a. So we have another. I don't think it's a heat wave, but it's very. We had a heat wave like a month ago, which I think caused 700 people died because of
Oh,
that.
oh wow.
Yeah, and now we have just a little bit like getting close to that, but not to that extent yet.
Gotcha. And you said it was
So
I gotta say, you told me it was 30 degrees, which is that's Celsius, and it was like 86 Fahrenheit. I gotta say that's for where I'm at. That's actually not considered a heat wave. That's pretty average for our time of year. So,
but that the thing is like I think the BC's sun is different. Like the way that is, I think it's like a dry sun. I don't know how to explain it. The way that because sometimes people from Toronto come and they even have a higher, um, like degree weather, and they said like your for some reason your sun is weird. So I don't know what is it about here that.
yeah, if yeah, the DC has we're very very humid. So even though
Yeah,
it's hot, it feels even hotter than it actually is. So
yeah,
we've been averaging about like that. It's in Fahrenheit about mid 90s for the past few weeks. So
yeah.
that's average for this time of year. When you told me 86, I was like, oh well, that's not that bad. But then you said you don't have air conditioning, so I was like, oh okay, well that would be pretty bad. So
And we're spoiled. We always have ocean breeze. We have a perfect weather, and it's always raining. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. So we're not ready for it. We're not used to it.
so how often do you get one of these heat waves?
Maybe like a week, every few years, once a week. I mean, sorry, 1 week in a year. And we don't have a lot of sun. That's why we're very cloud. Like the city is very clouded. There's not a lot of sun going on. So we worship sun because we get our vitamin D. It's like when the sun comes out, it's just a worship. Like we all go out. It's like, oh my God, the sun is out. I can wear all my dresses. I don't need to carry my umbrella anymore. That's a Vancouveran people thing. We always carry umbrella in our bag because you never know when it rains.
Uh-huh. No, I got to show you some temperatures that you might think are really, really. You think that's hot? Take a look at this. This is Las Vegas. Las Vegas is about 108 degrees right now, 42
Oh my
degrees
God.
Celsius. So, and that's average for this time of year. So, I believe they're in a dry area as well. So I don't believe that they get that humid. Last year I think it got up to like 115, 120 degrees. I don't know what that would be Celsius, but it'd be closer to, I guess, like 45 or so, maybe even 50. But it was really hot last year. So they had a major heat wave that lasted for like 3 or 4 weeks in a row. So don't envy the people in Las Vegas. I thought I'd bring that up there since we were talking about temperatures. So
I have been to Las Vegas quite a few times, and I think I've never been in summer, but the hottest one was in April. And I think for me, that was I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do anything. I'm not used to heat. And even April in Las Vegas, I would just rather stay home. I mean, stay in the hotel under the air conditioner.
Uh-huh.
It's just me. And just I just feel like I would, if I had a choice between like a hot place and like cold, like I could go be in like in North Pole or somewhere, I would be okay.
You can take the North Pole, but you can't take the heat, huh?
No, no, I can't. I would, and it affects my mood. So my friends usually don't take trips. They don't take trips with me when we go to tropical or hot places because they know that I'm just not going to be in a good mood.
Oh.
His effects. So it's like, oh, I think we should go maybe somewhere in summer, in the winter land.
Oh, yeah.
But everybody's different. What about you? What do you like?
Oh, I like the the cold can be annoying. I guess that I just deal with whatever it is. I mean, I used to hate the cold when I was a kid. But then the hot gets a little, here where I live is just too hot. So I mean, it's too much. Um, it's just too much either way, really. So it's like the hot,
Yeah,
too hot, the cold gets too cold. Sometimes it'll drop well below freezing. I know, trying to put that into Celsius. In Fahrenheit, it drops down sometimes to like 20 degrees, and that's below freezing. So that's why we have puddles outside, it just starts to freeze up, and you have ice all over the place, and that's not fun. And then when the summertime comes and get the humidity, that's not fun either. So I got mosquitoes
yeah,
outside, and that draws them in, and it's like, so I guess there's a short time in the spring and the fall where it's kind of moderate, which is kind of nice. So for me, I don't know. I just have to, I just grin and bear it, I guess, the whole year. I just try to deal with it as best I can. I don't know if I really have a favorite. I guess I'd have to say the moderate, for as short as it lasts, probably be my favorite. So
I think Vancouver would suit you then. Like you would love Vancouver because we're just moderate all the time. We
so what's
don't, we're in the middle, unless you're okay with cloudy weather.
oh class? So there's a lot of rain there too, right?
A lot of rains, cloudy. Sometimes it gets to you because it could affect your mood. Because sun
Hmm.
is very important for just uplifting mood or vitamin D and things like that.
Oh yes, yes. I remember. I remember thinking I got a little, like, I felt a little down about 10 years ago, so I bought myself what they call a sad lamp, which is supposed to increase your vitamin D input if you're not outside a lot, because I was staying so much inside. I don't know if it actually helped or not, but it was. I remember reading about that. Getting the vitamin D. Well, if you lack that, then you get that, like, kind of a depressed feeling, and I was feeling kind of down for a
Yeah,
while. I tried it out.
yeah,
I don't know if it actually worked or not, but it did feel nice to see sunlight inside my house, which is kind of weird to see that for the first time. The light emulated the actual sunlight, which is kind of interesting.
yeah. I actually have one of these lights right now because people in Vancouver they need it. I'm using it as a studio light. So this
Oh,
is the light. Is actually this is um, the light that in winter time when we don't have. I got it out of Amazon. I think they call it like a mood therapy. So
okay.
it's actually supposed to help you with your mood. So
Yes.
it's recommended especially for places that there's no sun. So this is so funny because I actually have that in front of my face all the time.
Is that why you're so happy right now? Increase your mood.
Well, I'm happy because it's been a sunny month for Vancouver. I love sunshine. I just can't take the heat. But I
Yeah.
guess you can't have it all, right?
Right, right. Yeah. The where I'm at, the it's we get we're right now we're going through a big thunderstorm patch. So like we'll get thunderstorms every other day, and the lights have been flickering in
Oh,
my house all day, on and off all day whenever the storms come through, and it's just kind of annoying. I'm hoping it doesn't go out. In fact, while we were talking, the lights actually flickered. There's no storms coming through, but the storms are close by. So hopefully we won't lose power. If I lose power, I can still stay on for an extra 20 minutes before have to power everything down. So, but that's another thing that's kind of annoying. Do you have to deal with any heavy thunderstorms or heavy rain like that?
we never have thunderstorm. It's very rare. It's very rare. But heavy rain, I would say October and November. From October starts till I think April.
Hmm.
Heavy rain. Like sometimes you can have rain every single day, every hour. It's like it goes forever.
Oh,
It's just like You live with the rain. Like there's one day you don't have a rain and you just wake up, it's like, oh, there's no rain. Oh my God. You just, I don't know. It just, I guess you can't have the perfect weather everywhere. There's always something.
Hmm. That no, I will say that getting into the rain every day, that gets to me.
Yeah,
I've had such situations where it'll rain for like 2 weeks straight, and it's like I need this to stop, and it won't stop, and it just gets really really annoying. So those situations I do not like.
then maybe Vancouver wouldn't be a place for you then.
Uh
You just,
oh.
you're good where you are, as long
Okay.
as you have your sunshine
I
and
do
like
have.
air conditioner.
Yes, yes, I have two air conditioner. In fact, at the beginning of summer, I had three air conditioner units. Two of them went bad, and I replaced one of them, and now I have to get the other one. I just said forget it. I just didn't feel like buying another one, so I'm most of the house is cool enough right now. So, um,
That's good.
now would you like to check our question from last week?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Okay, here we go. Here's our question from last week. We got 2,500 votes, which is pretty good. What is the one thing that you do which makes you feel beautiful or handsome? And I think the results are relatively the same. We got a nice batch of comments there. It says your choice is 66%. Next, we got 12% with plastic surgery. After that, shopping at 9%. To like examples. Whoops. Hold on a second. Hold on. Are
Live.
you there?
I'm there. I'm there. I just quickly got disconnected, but I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay. Good. 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 Because you actually got pulled off of the screen for a second. I had to bring you back up. So okay. Okay. Yeah. 9% with yeah shopping. Example like buying a new dress or a suit. 8% after that with putting on makeup or going to a barber, and then finally 5% with getting a facial. So yeah, I didn't think that would change very much. What do you think about those results?
No, it makes sense. It's, I love the answers though, from
Yes.
especially on the part that the last one, everybody has different answer because it looks like everybody, there's a variety of ways that it can make you feel good.
Hmm. Let's take a look and see what we got here. Money. There's nothing more precious than money. Okay.
That's funny.
Having a loving and caring husband. Make everyone beautiful, just like me.
Oh, that's
Confidence.
cute.
Let's
Good
see.
one. Good answer.
It says the anonymous says, I don't want to be handsome. I just want to be happy. I just want to see happiness everywhere. That's a pretty nice response.
Hmm.
Buy a Lambo. Everyone will think you are handsome. You mean the Lamborghini, a sports car.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh my God, I'm just laughing right now.
Shaving. The meditation to be cool and laid back. That's interesting. Nah, just all except for plastic surgery. Not really for being so fake in that. Let's see. Being a Muslim. Interesting. Thank God for everything. Normal guys putting on makeup, shaving, or going to barber. Legends splashing water on my face and cleaning with a towel. Let's see. I don't know what this one says. Sorry, the language I can't read. Playing namaz. Namaz. Do you know what
Namaz,
that?
it's like it's when you are praying in a Muslim
Oh,
religion.
I was to say. Oh, it says praying. Oh, I thought it said playing. Okay, I'm sorry. I
No,
need some.
praying. Yeah, yeah.
I need some reading glasses. Excuse me for that. Sorry.
It's okay.
Working for it, going to the gym, wearing clean clothes, and keep your hygiene in check. Let's see. If you want to be beautiful, I'll go to the Didier Sacks. If I want to be with my homies, I'll go. It's Binko. That okay? Those are references to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. If you play the game, Didier Sacks is the expensive clothing store. Binko is the cheap clothing store. So, that's what he's referring to. Want to be beautiful? It goes to the basically to the expensive one. And if you want to be with his homies, his friends, he wants to go to the cheap one. And little smiley faces. Go to San Fierro, which is another city in San Andreas, and complete each mission to unlock the 3 garage cars and Wang cars. Okay. Be cool in every situation. Nothing. I'm ugly. Oh, okay. Well, I don't. You're probably not. You're not ugly.
Oh,
Eating food. That's interesting. That's a different one. working out, being Christian, embracing myself as I am. That's a good one. I like
That's a
that.
really good one. I like that.
Well, I'm happy in myself. That's cool. Me too. Working my lard. Oh, he's censoring himself. My lard A out. Uh, uh, Getting up in the morning and working. I can see nature gives us. It's kind of, I guess. I think we're close to the end here. I think we might have touched these already. Developing confidence, taking a shower, shaving, and brushing my teeth. It makes me feel like a civilized human being. 3 glasses of whiskey. All my, yeah, I think we did this one. My black
I think
suit.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So these right here are we've already touched these at the end. So
Did
very
I ask you
interesting.
the question? Did I ask you that question?
Which one? I'm sorry. What?
This question.
Yes. Yeah. This is our question from last 2 weeks ago.
No, but did you answer
Oh, did I answer?
yourself?
Oh, I see. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No. No, I did not. I, I said I don't know. I maybe I don't know. I've been feeling a little down lately because I've been kind of rejected by a woman I really liked. So it makes me feel it's hard for me to answer this question right now as far as the right way to answer this. Um, I
Oh,
don't know. The I did change my appearance recently just to try to impress her, and I what I did was I actually shaved my beard a little. I didn't cut it off. I just trimmed it really short, and I actually dyed it a different color so it matched the color of my hair on my head. So, and then that's about. I guess you could put that in there to make me feel more handsome. I guess I was trying to make myself feel a little better that way. So,
oh,
the my facial hair had turned a little gray. I'm getting up there a little bit. So I decided to make it all the same color. And that's why I did that. So I guess that would be my answer for right now.
well, thank you. By the way, I just want to point that out. Thank you for sharing. And it takes a lot of courage to say that this is how you feel. And second of all, have you heard anything about George Clooney when it comes to facial hair color?
No, what, no, tell me.
Well, George Clooney, he's handsome and he's famous for his facial hair and his gray hair. So it's a thing now. So it's just, I think you have to always ask women's perspective too, or others, because first of all, beer is in now, and second of all, I think natural for men especially. I would say, I'm not saying for everyone, but for most of the women that I've seen around, they love it more natural and gray looking.
Hmm.
So I don't know. And George Clooney is a great example of it. He, I don't know if you can bring a picture of him. I think that would be very relevant now.
Sure.
He's
So let me
he's like every woman's dream, literally.
Well, you also got to remember George Clooney's got the looks too. So we're talking. I'm not. I don't have the facial the chiseled look that he has. So I'm not gonna. I hate to say, but you got the gray beard. Me with a gray beard is looking a little bit different than George Clooney with a gray beard. So I didn't feel like my having a gray beard was going to make me look a little bit more. George Clooney could probably pull that off. I don't think I was able to pull it off that well. So
No, you know why I said, because if you look at George Clooney's when he was younger with no gray hair, I feel actually he looks better now than before, and that's what a lot of people say that he looks better now. I feel like some men, they just look better in when they're mature.
Mine. He can pull it off. I don't think I could have pulled that off. Also, I got to admit, I hate to admit this, but I let my beard, because I've been isolated for a little while by myself. I hadn't gone out and seen anybody for a while. I let my beard grow to a foot long. So I don't think people wanted to see a foot long beard. And so I trimmed it down so it's more moderate like his. It's more, as far as the length goes, it's probably closer to maybe this right now, closer to
This
that.
is nice. I think
So,
this is a nice length.
so yeah.
People, some men would I guess, love to have their beard grow to that long, because some men, I guess, they just can't grow as much.
Yeah, when I was younger,
So
when I was in my 20s, I could not grow a beard just at all. I mean, it was just all sparse and everything. Now my beard is it's much fuller. So it just took a long time for mine to grow in. But yeah, mine's, but I don't have these looks that he has either. So I don't look anything like George Clooney in there. So, but he could, I think certain people can pull it off. I don't think I could pull off certain looks that George Clooney could pull off. So, all right. So yeah, that would be my right now. That would be my thing. Is that I changed the look of my beard. Now I will say I didn't. It's not fully what the different color. So there are little bits of gray that come through. So the natural color is coming out. So it's not like I dyed it to the point where it's like it was just color. I made it so it
what?
was like mostly brown. Like because when I was a kid, I had bright red hair, and as I got older,
Oh,
it turned more brownish. So it's more brown now. So so it matches the color of my hair as it is now. So,
well, look, I make my hair red because I love red color, and my
oh,
natural color um, is kind of brown, dark brown.
would you
So
would you like to see? I can show you some pictures of what I looked like when I was younger. Would you like to see?
yeah, I would love to see.
Okay, give me a second here. I'll bring them up. These are pictures I recently got from my sister. She sent them to me. So give me a second. Here we go. Let's see. You can see. There's some of the, you go excuse some of the pictures in here. Some of these pictures are family pictures. I'll just skip past those pretty quickly. Give me one second. I'm trying to pull them up. Okay. Well, this one's kind of this one's not too long ago. There we go. I'm trying to bring up something that looks. Here we go. Okay. Oh, sorry. One second. This is me on a fair. Okay, here's a picture of me and my sister. Here we go. There's me and my sister right there. So
Oh,
I usually wear black all the time. You can see my beard. My hair is still kind of reddish at that point. It's very more brownish now. So, but and it was at that point it was actually getting much darker. So it wasn't. They just over the course of time it just changed. So and
that's a very nice picture.
oh thanks. Let's see. Let's see if I can
And your
find.
sister is beautiful, by the way, and she has a curly hair too.
Oh yes yeah. She
I like her hair.
Yeah, I just saw her this weekend and it pretty much looks just the same as it does there. Only she's got a little bit of gray in her hair now too. So we're both getting up there. See, I can bring up a picture when I was younger. Let's see if I can bring something. Give me a second here.
Now, how do I zoom it? Because I feel like mine in my screen it shows a little bit further
Hmm.
when you're sharing.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if you can on that one, to be honest. I'll try. I'll try to zoom in on mine. Maybe it'll help you out a little bit. Here.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see what we got here. I don't know if these pictures might not. I'll just grab something at a random. Hopefully, it doesn't look too bad. Okay, no, that's not what I see. That's my mother. Okay, there's me. There, my dad loved black and white photos. So I'm at the bottom corner there. That's me when I was a kid. So there's my
That's
sister.
a very nice picture.
That's my parents when they were still before they got divorced. So let's see. Okay, there's me. There's my red. You can see my bright red hair.
Yeah, I can see that. That's awesome.
So, and my sister's sitting in front of me. So this is, I don't know who this kid is right here. My friend of my sister's, I guess. So,
so is it only you and your sister?
yeah, I don't have any. Yeah, we don't have any. I don't have any other brothers. I don't have any brothers. I don't have a sister. I do have a friend who I consider to be. That's my dad.
That's your dad. You know, you look like your dad.
Yeah, we definitely have very similar facial features.
So. And he has a curly hair too.
Yes.
So that's where you got your curly hair from.
Yeah, and my mother has curly hair too. My sister in this picture, she doesn't, but it's natural now. It is naturally curly, so you can see how bright red it was when I was a kid. There.
That's but it's not like bright. It's like a nice red. It's I like that red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, when I was a kid, since I was actually kind of tiny because I wasn't as big as all the other kids. I was easy to pick on with the red hair and the small kid in the class. So, yeah, I didn't have any problem with it there. Let's see. Oh, there was another close up there. So
this is so nice.
Oh, my hair is kind of messy in that one. So I have family photos. I find this kind of interesting. This is my uncle. he recently apparently, I hate to say this, but he apparently was locked up for murder recently. So
Oh my God.
I just found out. So I never knew he had it in him. So, and that's his wife. I don't mean to say anything, but she's a nice person, but she apparently died recently too. So
Oh no.
yeah, there's me. Yeah, that's me with my short hair. I
Oh,
didn't. So,
that's a nice picture. Well, hopefully we can see your face, your current pictures some one day too.
sure,
When you feel comfortable, you
sure.
can reveal yourself. I think you are very like mysterious now, and that's a good thing in a way.
Well, you have an idea. You have an idea what I used to look like.
But
How's that?
I have an idea. You give us a little bit of glimpse of what to expect.
Yeah, and that one picture that where I was standing with my sister, where you said we looked pretty nice. I was wearing all black. I pretty much look very similar to that right now, except that my beard is more fuller. So that hasn't changed very much. So
Well, that's a nice picture, and I mean, I'm pretty sure I like it. That was really nice.
yep. So I appreciate that. So we had a question for next week. I was going to. Did you want to tell everyone what it is? I'll go ahead and copy and paste it on here so we can talk about it.
Sure. So, because the topic of the today, it's going to be the relevance of beauty and mental health and social media. The question would be how the expectations of beauty in social media have changed um, your confidence or self-esteem.
Okay.
And I'll just give you a second
Yeah, I've
to
got
maybe
to.
write that down.
Oh, way up there. Okay, so how does the beauty standard in social media affect your self-esteem? Social media, huh? Hmm. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, explain that there because I'm curious. So if our viewers know exactly what you mean by that.
Yes, social media is, I think, the number one way of or form of communicating nowadays, especially that most of us working at home or just in the lockdown and or just from the invention of Instagram and TikTok and Zoom and things like that. Uh, People look at each other's Instagram posts, TikTok videos, and mostly their filters. You see a lot of pictures of uh, people with unrealistic expectations. I mean, when I go and look at the Instagram influencers, most of the time, I mean, it's just too hard to catch up to them.
Hmm.
Perfect body, perfect face, perfect clothing, perfect life, perfect smile.
Are they
So
are they is everything natural or is it are like do they try to create it do they art like do they modify it in some way to make it look artificial?
yes, so there is obviously there's always modification, same as celebrities' faces as well that we see in magazine. It's all filtered and photoshops and either surgery. But don't get me wrong, I don't want to say that all celebrities or all people who are beautiful, they're not beautiful. They're just being filmed. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that that most of the things that you see on social media, it's just not realistic. The features, um, it's and then that could affect a lot of people's confidence to look like that, a standard that we all have right now, and that could be kind of challenging, especially for young generation, young girls or even young boys who try to look certain way. Um, that's why I think that question is very relevant. That when you are going through your even YouTube is another social media or Instagram or TikTok or any means Twitter, what is it that uh, how does this affect you when you see all these posts? Does it really affect you at all, or is it actually motivating you, to inspiring you to become like that, or no, you're just not bothered with that? um, and then we can talk about that more.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and post it. Do you think it's good the way it is? Do you have any? Make
No,
sure it
it's
is.
perfect.
Okay, there we go. So we can come back to that later in the show. Okay, cool. All right, so go ahead and explain what the topic of our show, or the theme of our show, I should say. Go ahead and explain that, because I was trying to find a good way to describe that, when we were talking before the show began, and I was having a hard time trying to figure out how to relay that to the audience.
Yes. So the topic, it's mental health and beauty. What is the connection? What is the difference? Well, there's always been a connection. It's not only right now for social media. We're seeing it now because we have access to other people's pictures and posts and lifestyles more than our parents or grandparents. I think looking good and obsession, I don't know if that's the right word, to look our best in the physical appearances is always connected to our mental health in a way. I'm not saying it's completely, but they're somehow connected. As an example, as a result of that, you've seen a lot of women going through eating disorders, right? Which is not healthy. Um, Eating disorders are very one of the prominent problem right now within the younger generation, because everybody's trying to look specific day. We have anorexics, we have overeatings. So those are the problems that is actually it's coming from a disorder, a mental health perspective. I'm not a mental health, by the way, just a disclaimer, I'm not a mental I'm not a psychologist or counselors, or I did some research. I'm just stating and having that conversation so we can have awareness and we can talk about that, to empower each other. That's my intention. So when it comes to that, and there's a survey, and I was actually looking in the research, I have it right here, that I think Ferro, it's the name of the company. Foreo, sorry, is a skincare brand. They did a survey and they found that the 61% of women suffer from compare and displace syndrome. So they're comparing their appearances with others, right?
Okay.
And right now, and what is that compared?
Oh, we lost you. Uh-oh. What? 61%. Well, hold on a second. Hold on, everybody. We got a little connection issue there. Sorry. Let's see if Tannaz comes back on. Are you there? Okay, it looks like we got a little bit of a connection issue there. Hold on, everybody. While we try to figure out what the connection is. And I do apologize for that. We're just having. Hopefully, she'll come back in there. Let me pull her back down for a second. All right. Are you there? Nope. Looks like she's still frozen. Give us a second here while we try to connect back up there. No, it looks like we'll wait and see. We'll give it like a minute here to see if she can come back in. I apologize for that. It's just a little bit of a connection issue. I'm sure it'll come back up in a minute. So, everyone, thank you for watching the show, and hopefully we'll have her back up in just a minute. Just the Also, thanks everybody for tuning into my live stream that I had. Let's see. Nope, she's still not back yet. I had about a week ago on Wednesday. It was Wednesday night Eastern time. My show. Okay, she's disconnected. Give me a second here. Looks like we're going to get her back up here. Hopefully in just a second. Trying to make a connection again. Nope, not yet. Everybody will have to don't have much to say about the subject because she was the one that was going to lead on this. Hopefully we'll get this up and going here in a second. Nope. Let's see. I'm not sure what happened to her connection there. I might have to actually pause the show for a minute. Sorry to do that to everybody. What I can do is let's go back to the question for a second to see what she's and while she comes back. So this is the question we have for this week. How has how has the beauty standard in social media affected your self-esteem? So go ahead and it's on the community section, the community tab of this channel. So you can vote on that. We have 3 responses. That would be more confident. Oh, hold on. She's back. She's back. She's back. There we go. Okay. You got a little bit of a connection issue there. I was trying to pad until you can come back on there. So everything okay now?
Yeah, everything's okay. I don't know. I just feel like I just came out. I was talking and then I realized that I'm just talking to myself. But anyways,
yeah, I'll tell you where you left off. You just talked about 61% of women I think you said compare themselves to other women. And I think is that what you were leading up to? I think that's where you.
Yeah, it was a survey that was done that 61% of the women they have a comparison issue, and they call it I think comparison syndrome or something like that. I didn't even know that this exists, and that's because they see all these posts and images and just trying to perfect themselves and look like them and compare their body or their features. So, and that can cause if they don't like that comparison, they could cause low self-esteem and sometimes anxiety and depression. So
I was going to say that number seems low to me. I would think that more women would do that than 61%. It's it sounds like I guess it sounds kind of high, but in my opinion, it just seems like it would be higher, like maybe 75 or even 80% of women would do that. Especially with social media, where they can just look online and see somebody and say, I want to look like that. And there's so many people to choose from now. And instead of like say 20 years ago where you wouldn't have that, you'd have to you might have that at a limited scale on the internet, but not as much. But maybe even 25 years ago when you just had magazines to look at, and you're very limited as to when you could do that. So you'd be limited more or less to people in your own area as you can make the comparisons to. So
yeah,
I think
exactly.
I would think nowadays it might be a lot higher, but I mean, that's interesting. How old is the survey?
I think it's like a couple years old, but you're right. But that's just one survey. So definitely could be higher because I don't know what their research is or servers based on, how many women participated. So it's like a skincare line that they did that. So it could be limited, but you're right. Nowadays, it's definitely more because everybody's on their phone.
Right. Yeah, especially younger people. I would say maybe not the older people as much, but I would think younger people especially would be on there and just compare themselves. Now, as far as compare themselves to, are they more like professional models or just anyone in general? Does it have to be someone that has like a presence on the internet?
Okay, so this is my understanding. I feel like the social media is just a bubble. Everybody, I don't want to say everybody, I'm just going to correct that. Most of the people, because some people may not, they use the features of filtered, because in Instagram and TikTok and most of the social media, they have a filtered version. There is a Photoshop you can create, so you can pretty much create a new face for yourself, and you're not going to be that person in reality. You can get rid of your lines, different hair color. You can create lashes. This is the app. There are so many beauty apps that you can create. So when you look at that, everybody's trying to make a filtered version of themselves. So everybody's looking and say, oh my God, that's so beautiful. But we don't really know, is that really real? Or is just trying to create more followers and views? Because now followers is very important. Views is very important. Influencers, they make money that way, right? They get sponsorship. So I think that's what the comparison They compare themselves with other pictures, not necessarily celebrities, with other accounts. Because you go to Instagram, you see different models, different persons, even unknown people. Sometimes I'm looking, I don't even know the person, but some of the women are so beautiful. It's like, oh my god, I didn't know there's such a beauty exists. So anyway, to answer the question, it could be anyone, because anyone is trying to look their best in social media.
Right. And the whole idea of altering the appearance is not new. I mean, even before the internet, they would do that in magazines. They would touch up with somebody, a model, so she'd look different. So you'd look more what would be considered to be more sexually appealing, alter her physical form. So it's not new. It's just that now we have more easy access as usual to everything else. So the average person has the ability to do it pretty quickly. So
yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is. I think even before magazines, you even look at I think 18th century, 1800. I love history. I sometimes go back and look at all the different images from different decades, and you would see. I think it was 1800. From 1700 to 1800, they used this white powder all around, and they had wigs. So that was, and it would be even men. So men used to have more makeup back then than here,
right.
than this generation. I think
Right.
it was 1800, between 17 to 1800, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that I did. I knew about the makeup. And when you watch a movie where they show that time period, they usually the men aren't wearing makeup, and it's like they don't want. I guess they're trying to make it because it would probably look ridiculous based on standards of today. So they probably just have the men leave the makeup off, so they look like more contemporary style, more of a contemporary style. So if people watching the movie wouldn't be turned off by it. So I know that even men like during as far back as like the Roman Empire were wearing makeup back then as well. So I don't know all the details of it. I just know hearsay whatever.
Yeah, I think we should. The idea came up. I think we should just do a show one time. I don't know what people think. They can even comment it in the chat of the historical beauty, Egypt, or maybe you can just go back and see where did that come from, or what each decade had. I think that would be kind of interesting. But let's see what the audience would say or people would like to see. But you just give me an idea.
Would you like to ask another question? We could ask another question on our poll if you'd like.
Sure. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's up to you. We can ask. We've done that on other shows where we've asked more than one question, and so we can come. Let me bring that up. Hold on a second. I'll bring that up. Give me a second here. So we can do that. Community. Okay. All right. So here we go. How would you like to ask that question?
I want to position it in a way that would you like us to discuss the historical beauties in our next show?
Okay, that might be a little hard to do. I don't think we should. We should leave out the reference to the show directly.
Or like next time, or just.
How do you feel? How do you feel about the history? Yeah, because these polls don't tie in directly to each episode, unfortunately. So if we were to put that in there, it might throw people off. So what does that mean exactly?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's. We need to leave that. If we could word it in such a way so it's not making reference to a specific show, because sometimes these polls they show up on people's They show up randomly when somebody's watching a video on their phone or something, so they have no idea what's going on. So,
how about will you be interested in knowing different ways of beauties in historical decades or time?
Yeah. I don't know if that would work. Let me see. So I could try to word that a little so it sounds a little more reader friendly, because that might sound a little clunky if we say it like that. Let's see. How would you I don't know. That's a hard one. You got me on that one. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. So is the how okay. how about we phrase it in such a way? What era do you think is more beautiful, has where the beauty is considered? What is the more beautiful era? And we can put a different.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I like that.
Okay. How did I say it? What is? Hold on a second. What is the most beautiful era?
For era.
Yeah. Did I spell that right? Yeah. Beautiful era. Okay. There we go. Okay. So what we have to put down? We have to give them up to 5. What eras do you want to put in there?
Well, definitely, I would like to put 1920s because that was the Gatsby time. I think that would be good
Well, that
one.
was 1920s. Now, the 1920s, and that was the era when women had the short hairstyles, which is very
Yeah,
unique at the time. The flappers. So
yeah.
okay,
1920s, and then I would say then 1950s,
1950s. Okay.
1980s, because that was like when everything was big and there was a huge
Yeah, I'm
any
not
other, and then we can say any other era. You
okay.
could specify.
I'll say yeah, your choice. Oops. I have to say that I don't. When it comes to the 1980s, I'm not a big fan of the 1980s.
Oh my God, are you serious? I
Well,
was gonna say my favorite is 1980s.
I will say that there were some women's fashions that I thought looked really cute on that women wore during the 80s. Not all of them, but some of them. And so I do like some of them, but what men wore, I didn't like the styles of the 80s for men
Oh,
at all.
you talking about my okay? For women, I would say 1980s. As you can see, my hair is still in 1980s. I have a 1980s hair. I don't know, maybe because I was born in 1980s. That was my decade of being born.
uh, the
So
Yeah, I was still going to school in that year, so maybe that's why I don't like I didn't like the style when I was being the style the other kids that were wearing. I was just not into that style of clothing back then. So I just didn't like fit in as far like I said that's for boys. Like I said, there were a lot of girls at the time that I thought looked really cute. You know, based on this, just strictly talking about the kind of clothing that they wore. You know, and the style that they wore. Their hair was pretty cute. It was, but for the boys are just for me. It's like, oh, this is not me at all. So.
yeah, I guess for boys there wasn't a lot of choice.
Right.
Yeah,
So let's see. Most beautiful areas. Does that look good? I'm gonna go ahead and post that one.
perfect. So which one is your favorite era though?
Well, when I was during the 80s, I would say that my era during that time was the 1960s. So I would dress like a hippie during the 80s.
Oh, I love 1960s too. I forgot. Yeah, I love 1960s too. That was the rise of hippies and colorful fashion,
Yeah,
bohemian style.
especially let me bring up our picture, our thing here. I had George Clooney up here. Give me that. Okay, here we go. I'll put that up here. 1960. I'm gonna bring it up here. Give me 1 second. Fashion. There we go. Yeah, the bright colors. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
this is where yeah, it was very bright color. So the mini skirts, the mini dresses were very popular at the time. Then they faded out during the 70s, so they weren't as popular anymore. So but yeah, this was it was this is the I emphasize this is the later 60s. In the United States, the early 60s was different than the later 60s. So the early 60s was more like the 50s, and then like around 65, 66, then it was like an explosion of change and everything, and
Yeah,
then it would change into what. So it only this particular era only lasted for like maybe 5 years at the most, and then it just faded away pretty quickly. So because when you get to the 70s, you don't have those bright colors anymore. Not as much anyway. You might have some, but it really more or less the era that bring it up here. You'll see that really did
what,
change.
what was those pants that it was loose at the bottom? I forgot the name.
Bell bottoms,
Yeah, that was 1970s. That was very famous in 1970s.
right? And then they came back for a while during the 1990s, I think.
Yeah, and I think they're coming back again.
Are
I
they?
think that's what. Yeah,
Bell bottoms are they worn by? I know during the 70s there were men and women wore bell
Yeah,
bottoms.
yeah,
Is that a male? Is that only a female thing nowadays, or how's that work?
yeah. It's the only female thing nowadays.
Because I
But
remember
maybe in the future.
I remember when they came back in the 90s, and I was like, oh, I remember them when I was a kid, and I was like, I looked at them, I was like, then I was like, I noticed that only women were wearing them, so I thought it was kind of interesting that the men didn't get into that style again. So anyway, so yeah, you can see the well, I guess there's some color here. These look like genuine styles. What I can't stand. Let's bring up the 80s since we got it. We're talking
Oh,
about
I
that.
think 80s is too loud. It's too much for a lot of people.
The the uh and the funny part is all I do is I type in, oh yeah, here, yeah, the men's styles right here. I can see, I can't stand the men's styles are just so, I was not into that at all. That was just not my style. So but I do remember seeing, a lot of cute girls at the time, that were my age. So I thought they looked fine. The outfits were very nice, and they really enhanced. They're. If you were talking about beauty, that would definitely be something that would be an enhancement. Some of the exotic hair we get over here, yeah, I don't know about that so much.
Yeah, it's too much. But I mean, I like between 1980s and 1990s. Like I love the wild hair, the makeup, and uh, I just feel like the whole decade it was very daring. They just didn't care if it matches or not. You could just be yourself. But that was my impression of that.
You mean the transition from the 80s to the 90s? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I think 1980s was more daring.
Oh,
People dare to um, dress more in funky way. They didn't care to be proper. It was more wild hair, makeup. It didn't matter if it matches. You could see people just wear colorful clothes without even matching.
so as far as what did you wear during the 90s then? I'm kind of curious.
Well, during the 90s, I was still a kid, so
Uh,
my my mom, I would say I just love those. I love jeans. I love jeans. I remember when I was a kid, I feel like if I wear jeans, I'm gonna look so cool. And then I think Dr. Martin shoes or Timberland shoes. I don't know if you remember those.
I
It,
remember the name. I don't remember what they look like.
it was very cool. It was just like jeans, very laid back. It was all about being cool. Um, so
But
I think 1990s. I remember a lot of jeans. Yeah,
jeans.
a
I
lot of
got
jeans with these shoes.
I wore jeans a lot when I was in high school, but I got out of them when I got to be an adult. I just didn't like the fit. For me, jeans are just my jeans were just too tight or something because I always felt like I was like having to maneuver around kind of awkwardly. It's just like they're wrapping them on my legs too tight. I didn't like that. And I like the loose fitting feel of wearing pants. So I've been wearing pants ever since. And not baggy pants either. I'm just saying because I can't stand baggy pants. Those are awful for me anyway. But something that's just not too tight, but not too not doesn't look baggy and not too tight. That's clinging on. That's make me feel kind of weird when I'm
Yeah,
walking. So especially I was
yeah.
trying to put something in my pocket. Like if the jeans were so tight, I had to squeeze it into my pocket. I couldn't put something in my pocket. I just because it was just wrapped around my leg was so tight. It was hard time to put. It was just too hard to put something in the pocket there. So
Especially men, they don't have purses, so they have to fit everything in their pocket.
right. Yeah, and then well, that's interesting you say that because during the 80s, men did have purses. I don't know if you know that.
Really?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was a
remember.
it was
Really?
it didn't last very long, but it was a period during the 1980s where men were walking around with their own handbags, and they were similar. They looked very similar to purses, but they tried to make them slightly more masculine looking. And
Oh,
they
I want to see that.
see if
Cool.
I don't know what they were called. My dad had one of those for a while too. So
1980s man purse. Is that what it called?
I probably let's see. Um,
Oh, no, I remember. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
yeah,
It's like, uh, that's Joey. Um,
And yeah, they not the things that wrap on your stomach. They actually had handles like this guy right here, like here, like yeah, like
Yeah.
kind of like that, kind of. Yeah, more like something like
Was it
this.
like this? It was more like this, right?
Yeah, 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 exactly. And they come in different styles too. But yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I do remember some of the men at the time saying, "Oh, that's so stupid. Why are they walking around with purses?" So
You- That's funny.
I thought it was actually a decent idea. I didn't have it. I thought it was actually a decent idea, really, because eventually, when I got to be older, when I became a teacher, I started carrying my school stuff around in a big bag anyway. So it was almost like we're walking around with a big purse all the time. So
Honestly don't know why men don't have purses. I know a lot of audience might come and make fun of me and say, "Well, it's a womanly thing. We don't need purses." But I guess you guys do need some stuff too to carry, right?
well, yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
well, most women's clothing don't have pockets though, so that's the main reason why, right? I mean, that's like you don't have pockets on a dress, so you have to put everything in your purse, right? I mean, that's the main reason.
that's true, I guess. I guess so. I mean,
And when men's clothing, they almost always have pockets. Jackets have inside pockets, like you have a pocket on the outside, a pocket on the inside, so you can put everything in there. So you don't really need a lot to to do it. Like my coats, the coats I wear in the wintertime, they have two outside pockets and one inside pocket. So I don't need to hold on. That's where I usually put all my stuff. I can't stand sitting down with like a wallet sitting in my back pocket because it just makes me sit kind of awkwardly when I'm trying to sit down. Yeah.
oh my god, if you knew how much stuff I have in my everyday bag, if you just the things that I carry, oh my god. I think I should do a what's in my bag video one time. And that's like every girl pretty much. Like
Uh-huh.
it's not just only me. It's like we carry a lot of stuff. That's why we need bag. But most of the stuff we carry, we don't use it every day, but it's necessary to have it. So I don't know. Maybe I would do the what's in my bag because there's this trend in social media that some people are just like, I'm gonna have a video of what's in my bag video, and they showcase their bag and then what's in it, and then go one on one. Sometimes I watch these things and I'm like, oh my god, how many things you need in your bag to just go to grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, that sounds like me with when I was teaching. I would actually carry my bag everywhere. So this and basically because I just wanted to make sure if I wanted to do something I was actually doing a lot of I would program. We had these police scanners we would listen to at the job I had. So it actually
mhm.
had the books and manuals and the DVDs and the CDs, so I could actually program the scanners correctly. My paperwork was in there for my schools. Any pens, paper, supplies. So I would I bet you I would have back in the day, not nowadays because the bag is old and nasty looking now. But back in the day, the when I was carrying that bag, I could do a video and say what's in my bag, and people say, "Why do you carry all that stuff around with you all the time?" So
I think you should do that. That would be very interesting
yeah, but the
for a
bag
lot
is
of people.
yeah, it's old now. It's rotting away. It's not funny. 20 years ago when I was teaching, I was teaching up to about 10 years ago. So 10 years
What
ago,
do
yeah.
you, what did you teach, by the way? Sorry, I got curious right now when you said teaching.
Oh, yeah, I was the head of the music recording technology department for Northern Virginia Community College.
Wow,
So
that's
basically,
amazing.
there was multiple classes. It was basically to get people into the recording industry, radio, to a lesser extent, and so it basically we had a recording studio, basic class. There was I forget how many classes there were altogether. Probably about a dozen classes altogether. So intro to recording, advanced recording, sound studio design, music copyright law. It was electronics, and it was all geared to get people into a job in the recording industry or into radio, but mainly recording industry. So, and
Wow.
yeah, I was in the right place at the right time just to get that job. So yeah,
Oh,
but
that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, that's why I carried that bag with me all the time. even though, even though wasn't there, I'd always carry it around. And sometimes I'd pull my schoolwork out. If I was at another job, I'd start doing rating tests or whatever. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's every day we learn new thing about
mm,
you, especially Zoom. So you were a teacher as well.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, in fact, yeah, I talk about that. that was the being a teacher was basically it was a very large part of my life at that point. It was really consuming. It consumed a lot of my time, and I was I basically no matter where I was, I was always teaching was always the teaching part was always affecting me. No matter even when I wasn't at school, I was always focusing on teaching because it just was a never ending job. So I barely got
Mhm.
paid anything for it. So but
Okay, so now that's interesting. It gets interesting because I think it's going to be relevant to our topic. If you were teaching now,
yeah.
and especially helping people to get into, um, recording, but in the media of today, with these kind of beauty standards and with these kind of, because it's changed from 10 to 20 years ago. Why would you, how would you change your teaching method, or what would be you think different?
Um, to be honest, probably nothing because the recording industry that's not really. I mean, it's not about beauty. I can't really.
Hmm.
So I mean, I will say. Well, let me rephrase that. There is something I can say about that. I remember one of my students asked me one time, and they asked they wanted to get into singing, and I said that unfortunately, in order to be a singer nowadays in the music industry, you have to have a certain look. You have to look very visually appealing, and it's unfair to people who are very talented because you can have someone that's extremely talented, but if they don't have that look, they won't get the record
Hmm.
deal, the contract. So yeah, it does play a part. You're right, it does. But and I felt kind of bad saying that to the person because I think I hurt her feelings when I said that. I didn't mean to hurt her feelings. I felt bad when I told her that. But I was trying to be blunt and tell her how the industry worked, and I think most people know that anyway. Back if you look at singers from like the 60s and 70s, and some of them are not attractive at all. There wasn't that standard. You have people that were I can't speak of anyone. I can't remember anyone in particular, but you look at it like how did they get to be a singer, and you realize because they have talent. That back then they would it was based on their talent, but nowadays it seems to be you have to have the look first, then the talent second. So if you don't have that certain look, if you don't have that beautiful look that they're looking for, you won't get that record contract, which really stinks. So
So do you think right nowadays the beauty, the physical appearances are more important than past generations?
yes, oh, very much so. Yes, and I would say it's been like that for the past, oh, definitely for the past 20 years at least. Because I was teaching from 2004 to 2010. So or 2000, yeah, 2010. So and even then that was it was very much during that period as well. So it was very obvious. I would say from probably at least the late 90s, maybe even further back than that. I'm not sure about the 80s so much because you can see some singers from the 80s that don't have a real, they don't look like extremely, quote unquote beautiful. But based on, later on when you get into the 90s and definitely into the 2000s, you can clearly see that there's a difference that was made with that. I, and I don't think it's right either. I don't, but unfortunately that's just the way it works and there's nothing much you can do unless you happen to be someone who owns your own record studio or you
Yeah.
can, not much you can do about it. They want the look, and the look really sells. And the yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I can't cite anybody, but if you look at some of the stuff that was done during the 60s and 70s, you look at these singers, they definitely did not have a look that was good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's a thing that I think it's very also what we're talking about beauty and what you said is the um, role models of today's children is are singers and celebrities that you're right, they have to have the look. That's what that standards are high. But if you're looking back 1960, even 1950s or 1920s, it was more talents. And maybe if we kept that way, there wouldn't be that much pressure on everyone to look a certain way. I don't know. I just thought of that because the beauty standards are always come from a specific image of celebrities, or what is the trend, what is the fashion.
right, right, and the and what's and also the physical appearance as well, something that you cannot really control. I mean, unless you get plastic surgery. So even your natural, if you have more of a natural beauty, that's going to be a high selling point. it as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course you have to have that. Plus, you have to be able to have the ability to sing. But even from what I've heard, and I don't have anything to back this up, even the people that do that, they don't even make their own music anymore. So it's written by someone else. They have the person that they have the person who looks good and has the good singing voice sing it. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the details of how that works exactly. I just just things I hear on the internet here and there, and what I remember hearing when I was teaching. So
Yeah, it's yeah, I guess it's just a reality of our world right now,
mhm.
that there's a different standards that it's happening, and we just I mean, I wouldn't say there's not much we can do about it, but I think we just need to be aware of it, that
Mhm.
um, things that we see on social media, to just kind of sum up, I guess,
Yeah.
things we can see on social media. Yes, there's a beauty standards for everything, and certain people wanted to look like certain way, but we also need to look at how do they look in reality, and it's not all the reality of people. 99% of the people, they don't look like that.
Mhm.
So I think that would just kind of help us to help with our anxiety and just empower each other. I think that's what I can say.
And
Again, I'm
how
not like an expert in that.
and how about when one of the things I think you touched on was talking about on Zoom calls. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
how about do you? I mean, I don't go on those. And obviously, if I did, I don't show my face anyway. I've gone on a couple of them where I didn't show my face. But I mean, do you go those on? Do you go on those on a regular basis?
Yeah, I mean, for classes is when I was enrolled in my classes for my broadcasting degree, I had to show my face because they had to see my performances, and that was necessary. But that was for a class, so I guess it doesn't really matter. For other meetings, I guess they have to see you because it's not an in-person meeting anymore. But then Zoom is different than in-person meeting, because in Zoom you actually see yourself. Like right now, I'm seeing myself, and I'm sometimes getting distracted. I'm like, "Is my hair okay?" If you see my hair, I'm just. But then when you actually in the meeting with another person, you're not looking at yourself, right? You don't looking at all these lightings. I don't know. It's different. And it's so funny. One of my friends, she works in the cosmetic clinic, and she says ever since pandemic, the filler for here has increased, because people do more Zoom meeting and they want this to be like flat,
Oh,
so they do like they put fillers here
oh,
or do Botox,
oh, I see. Okay. I see what you're saying now. Okay.
because they're very insecure about their jaw and their neck and this portion.
I get you.
So that's a different thing, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
That's pretty funny.
It is funny.
Is
It's
that
true.
is that mainly for women or is that men too?
I guess I heard woman, but I don't know about man.
I was just kind of curious, especially if a man has a beard. I don't think it would matter at that point because you wouldn't be able
I
to see
don't
much.
think it mattered. But because you zoom right now, you focus on here, right? More. But if I do this, I guess it's different a little bit. I can just adjust it. But women, they become insecure of that.
Hmm.
So they would do a lot of fillers. Um, it's changing. But before, people actually would communicate with each other more. You would think you would do more surgery or more cosmetic operations, but Zoom apparently changes everything. People have become more insecure for some reason.
That's interesting. Well, would you like to check our other question that we asked earlier to see what kind of response we got on that?
Let's do that.
All right, let's see. I'm bringing it up right here. Looks not very much yet. Okay, I'm bringing it up. Give me a second. Here. Oops, I got to do it. There we go. It's coming there. All right. So how has the beauty standard in social media affected your self-esteem? 55 votes so far. 75% with more confidence. 11 next with that no difference at 15%, and then 11% after that with less confidence. And then we got Sandeep, who's a regular contributor. He says no difference to me, by the way, with a thumbs up. So that's all we got so far on that. So how do you feel about that? More confident. So it's so that's so do you I would think it would be less confident if people, but I don't know. It's interesting. I'm never quite sure how to judge these results. Um, I would think it'd be either no difference or probably no difference or less confident, in my opinion. That's interesting that it would be more confident. People would become more confident just because they look at something on their self esteem would be more. How does that really make any sense to be that high?
I guess it's also we need to pay attention to our audience as well. Like how many percentages of our male and how many percentages are female. Not that I'm saying female feel more less confidence, but I think there's a difference between male and female perception of that. But then again, you're right. I'm surprised too because um, personally, I would say sometimes it depends on my mood. Sometimes I feel less confident. Sometimes it doesn't make any difference. Um, but again, I'm surprised with the answers.
Yeah, I'm a little. I think yeah, Sandeep seems to be what I would say. No difference in by the by what he's saying. I would agree with that. So, I think sometimes I think these results, these polls, just get results that are just kind of out there. I always wonder who actually why they're so skewed in some one direction. It seems like it shouldn't be that way. It's happened before in other questions that we posted on other shows. So, go off. Let's go to the other question we asked.
Yes.
That one probably wouldn't be very much right now. Oh, okay. Oh, we got some responses here. Wow, so that's actually that has more. Let me refresh the screen. 68 votes so far. No responses yet because we only posted it. But 1980s at 74%. And
Really?
the next one down, your choice, and here 16%. And then the 1920s at 9%. Oh, that's pretty good. And 1950s with 1%. Interesting. Um, yeah, we should have thrown the 1960s in there as well. That would have been kind of interesting.
Yeah, I know, I know. What there one is there any comments on the last?
This one, no.
No comments. So they're gonna tell us maybe a little bit
Yeah.
then what they
Yeah,
think. Wow, I'm surprised. 1980, 74%.
Yeah. Like they said, but I could say for the female styles, yeah, I could say the fashion was pretty good. Most of it, not all of it. Some of it was kind of bleh.
Yeah. That's funny. But
yeah,
you know what? I feel like, again, I don't want to generalize, but I think like men generally, they like more simple makeup and more simplicity in women. But 1980s was just too much. It was everything was just too much. Like you would see blue eyeshadow and then yellow somewhere. So, but it was a fun decade. I think that's why. It was rock and roll. It was a fun decade.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, how do you overall overall is there anything else you'd like to add to that one? I'm trying to think of I guess I can't think of anything else to add to this one myself. I think it's not more we just have to wait till next week, I guess, and we'll find out what kind of results we get, see if it stays in there. But yeah, we'll come back to this on next week. I can't think of anything else to add unless you have something you want to add to that.
No, I'm surprised that this people are very interested about in decades, I guess, more than the other. So it's good to do these questions so you know what people like.
Right. So okay, well, I guess we can go and wrap everything up. Did you have anything you wanted to add, say to our audience?
I think that's about it. It's just to kind of have the awareness of if we are putting a comment on social media for someone's post or trying to uplift each other rather than just bringing itself down because affect their mental health, right? And we can only judge by appearances. So I think, and that's also another thing, the last thing that I want to mention is that, again, we don't need to keep up with the, standards of today's media because, again, we don't know what's real or not real, and just empower each other. That's all I can say.
Okay, well, that's very good. Very good. Hopefully people will live that way. I don't know if I don't think a lot of people will do that. And I mean, there'll be a lot of people that say they will probably not do that. I don't say a lot of people, but there'll probably be a large number of people that probably will say, nope, 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 I'm not going to live that way. I'll just, they'll be artificial and superficial instead, unfortunately, but that's just the way it's going to be. It would be nice if everyone was that way, though. I agree. So
yeah.
all right, everybody. Well, thanks for that. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.